So this video is really, we've had lots of problems with builders. I don't know if you find problems with builders, but we always do. We are going to have a little series as well where I'm going to bring some tradesmen who are now property developers, so we can discuss how to get around it. So what I'm going to do in this particular property is I'm going to show you all the mistakes that they've made, which I'm not happy about, which you also shouldn't be happy. Now, first and foremost, when you have a fire door, this particular builder knew that he had to fit a fire door here. Now, he could have at the time taken out the fire frames, but he chose not to, or taken out the door frames and put fire frames. He chose not to, right? If you work to builders, you know what it's like. But what I'm not happy with is the fact that you can buy fire doors which are 35 mil. They are really expensive, they're not cheap. But if it doesn't fit in your frame, you can do that. You can buy them from Howdens around about £120. Anyway, this particular builder, what's happened is that if you look, when you do the fire hinges, obviously there'll be a closure. You can see when you do the fire hinges always have to be cut in. The other thing that fire hinges have to have is there's a special foam pad that goes behind there which expands if there is smoke or fire, okay? On fire doors. You can see that this fire door hasn't even been cut into this section, right? Normally you chisel it out. I'll try and find one of the doors that they've done right. They've also done this one. So this is recessed, not recessed in at all, right? So you can see that. Now follow me and let's have a look at some of the other fire doors, right? So again, you can see this is recessed in, right? Whereas, yeah, and that's recessed in, but these are not recessed in at all. Okay, and they normally recessed in. So if you, again, have a look. So they've moved the stop on this one to make the fire door fit. But you can see from, if you come on this side, Kiki, you can see that this is rebaited in. Can you see that? Can you actually see it's rebaited in? Mm-hmm. That's how it's supposed to be, right? Rebaited in. And you can see that this is rebaited in. But this bit is not rebaited in. It should have been, just like that. Okay, so that one's rebaited in. The other thing that, you know, now, there is a code of sequence that people should do, which is the last thing that you lay is the floor, right? But unfortunately, I've been under a lot of pressure. I haven't been able to say a thing because I need this property done in time for my for my students who are moving in from one of the other houses. So we had a time frame. It's the whole, you know, we'll talk about builders and the experiences that people have, and it'd be great because this is something that every investor suffers with, really. So let me show you some of the other things that, okay, so in the bathroom, yeah, okay. So we've got the shower room, we're doing the shower room. Now, when you first look at it, it all looks great. But if you look, so we've got a full ceiling that was put in, okay? Now, if you look at the edges there, you can see that the tiles haven't been cut round if you go all the way around, right? That should actually, when you're putting a new ceiling in, so the tiling has been done inconsistently. Again, the grouting hasn't been done there. Yeah, these are things that I have to point out, but someone should have done that basically. And then silicone all the way down, but you can see. So these are the things that I'm not happy with basically, yeah. Piping, we'll have to discuss that, whether it's the plumber or whether it's the electrician or whether it's the builder. Again, you know, the last sort of thing is you tend to put in the kitchen right towards the end when most of the building work is done. These guys don't follow a sequence at all. It's a case of, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, which is wrong. You know, there should be a set sequence that people should follow. So if you go outside, one thing that we've done in this property, you see that the rubbish is everywhere. So on this particular one, what we did was there was an area at the back which we've utilised, so we've knocked through the wall and then basically rebuilt this bit because that's where the door was, and we rebuilt the back wall. Okay, now just generally looking at it, you can see that, you know, if you look at the way the cementing is done, it's not great. Have a look, you know, you can see that it's not great. Yep. And it's generally, you know, how people work. You can normally tell builders, good builders. Now, if you look at the wastage, you know, I've gone through a lot of tiles, but it's normally, you know, how builders work basically. If they're clean, then you know that they're going to do a pretty good job. So when you're looking for builders, try to, I mean, you can see from all the dirt going in and out of the house, it's going to get dirty. This is the original, this is a brand new floor. So when you're looking around for a builder, what I would suggest is that you go and see some of the work that they've already done. Also then go around to see when they're halfway through the job. Now, when I particularly went to see these builders, they were almost finished. The job was almost finished, so I didn't see how messy they were. You need to improve it, right? So at the end of the day, every person, just like you and I, if we maintain a cleanliness around you, you know that they're going to take more care of the property. If we have a look upstairs, again, fire door rebaited in, right? But inconsistently upstairs. So let's have a look. All right. So once again, if you look at the fire frame here, fire door here, you'll see that it hasn't been rebaited in at all. And it's a case of, okay, we understand that it's a metric door. Now, when the guy was given the contract, he was told to fit fire doors. It's up to him, but you can get metric fire doors. They're more expensive. This particular job, I've paid a hell of a lot of money and I could have done it for a lot less. Now, I expect a certain standard of work in my properties. So you've seen some of the other work that we've done. This hasn't been the same builder, but this is the sort of thing that you have to look out for. Obviously, the intermittent strip is being put in, but things like this. So what my suggestion would be is take out, you know, if you ever do a refurbishment, take out the old frames. Don't go by the builder saying, oh, actually, I can make them fit, because it's incorrect, okay? So if you want to just go to one of the other rooms. Now, my students have to be in this Friday. So I'm showing you this property, but they have to be in Friday. Now, I haven't been happy with the way that they've done these doors. They've had a go again. And well, what do you think? Right? So it's not acceptable, really, especially when you're paying. In the end, this whole project is going to cost me $25,000, including, and I'm supplying all the major stuff like the kitchen and everything else. So you can see, yep. So they've changed some of the doors, they claim. I don't think they have, but it's the way that they've done it. Okay, so, you know, I'll show you other bits as well. The electrician's going to come in and do the smokes, so he's promised me he's going to come and do the smokes. I've been project managing the electrician and the plumber. So that's basically it on this particular project. We'll see how it pans out. Fingers crossed they will actually have it ready for Friday. I have my doubts, but yeah, let's see. You know, often when people do a walkthrough, they don't look at the finer detail. You really need to look at the finer detail, and especially when you're picking. One thing that I have to make you aware of, there are a number of builders that give it the talk and say what you want to hear, but when it comes to delivery of the product, they're not great. So always just, you know, and it's a hard game. The hardest thing in our industry is to find the right deal, but then to find the right builder. And I would like to concentrate on our community to help you so that you don't have as much stress as I've had in this particular project. But before you go, so all fire doors and HMO regulations are that you have a smoke detector in every room. You have, like I said to you, these guys haven't used the pads. There's normally a pad that goes behind that which expands. Now, not all builders use that, but it is regulation. It's very similar to this, which sits at the back of this, okay? And it expands out if there is any fire or smoke to stop any of the gaps. Now, if I am able to close this door, let's see if we can close that door. You'll see the gap. Just move back a bit, Kiki. Right. So let's see this one. Right. So you can still see that there's the gap actually here is not as bad as the gap in the other one. So there is a door there.
I think it's this one.
It was this one.
Yeah,
right.
So.
Yep. Okay. Just come through it. I'll show you. Right. Obviously they're putting the carpets down, but right, so you can see that there is a pretty big gap up there, which almost defeats the object of having a fire door. The intermittent strip does expand, but it doesn't expand a huge amount. So you have to have a certain clearance. Yeah. Okay, so I hope, I'm a very active landlord, as you've probably seen from the series. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you soon.